DML, it's the data manipulation language. So if we want to manipulate the data in a table, then we are going to use this data manipulation commands. Let's say I have created a table, and after creating, if I want to select the data from a table, or if I want to insert or delete or update the records from a table, then I go with data manipulation commands. So along with data manipulation, I'm going to explain implicit cursors. So why I have chosen implicit cursors along with data manipulation is the implicit cursors are automatically created by Oracle whenever we run a SQL statement. So this is like if I run some insert statement or update or delete statement, Oracle will automatically create some implicit cursors for the SQL statement that we are running. So the implicit cursors are SQL percent found, not found, row count, and is open. So insert, the basic syntax for insert is insert into, we are providing the table name here, and here the values, the what we are going to insert in the table, those values we'll give it here. So here is an example. I have taken some 3 examples to run the insert statement. So this is the insert statement along with the implicit cursors. So let's run this in the database. So set server output on. This is basically in order to show the log message. So here I have taken dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. So in order to show the message in the script output, I have just using this set server output on. And the basic syntax is insert into test employee. This is the table I am taking, and these are the columns: employee number, name, designation, join date, and salary. These are the column names, and I'm inserting the values like 100, and employee name is DML, and designation I'm making it as teaching, and join date I gave as 01 Jan 2021, and I'm giving the salary as 25,000. And if you see here, if SQL person found, then I'm printing some message. So what this SQL person found does, let's say if my insert statement got executed and inserted one row. So which means that it found some row, right? So it executed one row. So the SQL person found will turn to true, and then it goes to this if statement, and it will print this row inserted as one value. If it is inserting multiple values, it provides a 3 values, or whatever the value it is inserting, it will show that value. So the SQL person row count is basically the number of records that will hit the database. And if I'm closing it and making an end to this insert statement. So let's run this command. So if you see here, the rows inserted is 1. Why? Because it inserted test employee with this 100 values. Now I want to insert another record, 101, DML1, teaching 1, and I'm making it to 2nd Jan, and I'm making it to some 35,000. And again I'm running the same thing. So again it is showing rows inserted is 1. So in the same way, let's insert another record. And run the insert statement. So it got inserted, another row got inserted, and it is showing inserted as 1 and procedure successfully completed. So this is one way of inserting the records in a table. So if I don't want all the values, I just want to insert some employee number, then I can simply go like this, insert into, let's say I just want to insert the employee number, and later on I will update the details. So employee number I want to insert as 200, and rest all values I want to make it as null. Now if I run this, so now if I run the insert statement, one row was inserted. And we have another option, insert into test employee 1, select star from test employee. So this we will use when there are 2 tables and the both share the same structure. Here what I meant is same columns and exactly the same table, but the table name is different. In that scenario, I can go with insert into test employee 1. Let me run this for you. So insert into test employee 1, select star from test employee. So what it does is it will all the records from test employee, and it will dump the records into test employee 1. So 4 rows inserted. And one more thing is, all the DML statements, they are not auto commit. So we have to manually provide the commit So a commit is completed. Now if I do some select star from test employee, 4 records are inserted. So this is how the insert statement works. Now coming to select statement. So select is basically if I want to access the records in a table, as the name suggests, is just we are just selecting the records from a table based on some condition. We can, if I simply give select star from the table, it provides all the records. If I want to provide some where condition, like here if you see there is some employee number 100, 101, 102, 200, right? So let's say I want to select like select star from test employee where I want to see the details of employee 100. So I can just give the condition what I want to see, that will give in the where condition as employee number equal to 100, so that it will return only for that 100. Then we also have multiple conditions here. So this is the very basic syntax for the select. If we are using some aggregate functions or anything, then we have to use the group by, having, and order by. Let me explain this. So let's say I want to get the sum of salary. So I want to get the sum of salary and I want to see based on the designation. So based on the designation, I want to see how much salary that particular designation owner is earning. So I just want to get the average for the designation. Like if it is a systems engineer, this is the average salary, and if it is a senior software engineer, this is the average salary. And I want to see like that. So for that, I don't know now. For this condition, I am not going to use any where condition, and I'm taking select average of salary and designation. So whenever we use some aggregate function along with a column, it should group by this designation, right? So it is like, let's say there are some 100 records with one designation software engineer, and there are some 200 records with another designation senior software engineer. In this scenario, it should group by, and it should show like software engineer and this is the average salary, senior software engineer and this is the average salary. So in that scenario we use group by. So group by is basically group by the designation. So to blindly in order to say that whatever is there next to the aggregate function, just use that in the group by. So select average of salary comma designation from test employee group by designation. So if I run this query, see here teaching one, for teaching one the average salary is 35,000, teaching two it's 45, and for teaching it's by 25,000. So this is just an example I have taken. So since we inserted these rows, it is showing like that. So this is basic example. And for suppose if I want to get having, if I want to know the average whose average salary is greater than some 30,000, I want to get only those rows whose average salary is greater than 30,000. Then I can simply give it here. See, teaching one and teaching two. These are the salaries. These are the employees whose salary average salary is greater than 30,000. So it is displaying only two. So having is basically it works on group by. Without group by, it's this having don't have any meaning. So whenever you have a group by, so it's not mandated to have having, but whenever you are having, whenever you are using having, it is mandated to use the group by. Then if we want to give any order by, so currently it is showing like teaching one, teaching two, right? And if I want to show it by order by some designation or anything, let's give as designation. You can give as DESC, descending order or ascending order, and you can simply run it. It will show that designation. Since I changed to DESC, it's showing teaching two first, and then showing the teaching one in the next row. So this is the very basic select clause. So in these where conditions, we can provide a lot of join conditions, which we'll explain in the later sessions. So this is the very basic select clause that we use in Oracle. And if you see the order of executions, let's say there are too many clauses, right? So here we have select, from, where, group by, having, and order by. So how the database will execute the query, like what comes first, right? So here if you see here, select some columns from table. So first the database should know the table name, right? So definitely it will be from will be executed first. Then after from, the where will be executed, because based on what conditions they are pulling the data, right? So once we got all the data, so in this example, let's say select star from test employee where employee number equal to 100. So in this scenario, first it will pull the data from test employee. Then in the test employee, it will make a condition like employee number equal to 100, so that all all the records which are having employee number as 100 will be pulled, and after that it will group by based on the designation. So the clause also remains the same, first the from clause, then where, then group by, and then having, and in the end, so once all my data is ready, then it will go with the order by clause. So this is how the order of execution for the select clause. Now coming to update. So update is basically, so if you see here, I have inserted like insert into test employee number as 200, right? So let's simply select start from test employee. So if you see here, the employee name, designation, join date and salary are null for employee number 200, and now I want to update it. Later on I want to update for employee number 200. In that scenario, I'll go for the update statement. So for that, the syntax is basically update the table name. Definitely we have to update, right? So here update, and we are providing the table name. Set. Set is where what columns we want to set. Like here I want to set 3 columns: employee name, designation, join date and salary. Set and where condition. Based on what condition? I want the condition like the employee number is 200, then only I want to set the values for employee name and designation. So here is the example. So if you see here, update test employee, set 300, employee name as 100. So now here it will be like 200. I don't want to update my employee number. I want to update employee name as Shri, and designation as teaching 3, where employee number equal to 100. I want to update this. So one row updated. Now if I want to add some implicit cursors, let's see how the Oracle uses this implicit cursors. Now since the employee 200 got updated, right, let's do one thing. Let's copy the same thing here. Yeah. And see how it works. So now if I run this, let me clear the script output. So if I run this, rows updated 1. So for employee number 200, 1 row got updated. See here I am using SQL percent row count is greater than 0, which means that if any rows got updated, if it is greater than 0, then I am printing rows updated as SQL percent row count, how many rows got affected. The same thing we can use for the insert clause, or for all the clauses we can use the implicit cursors, and we can verify like how many rows got updated or inserted. So this is the basic update statement with implicit cursors. So usually in the best practice is here it's better to give the commit. So what it does is, if the SQL percent row count is greater than 0, which means that few of the records got updated, right? So in that scenario only just do the commit. So again if I run this, so rows updated is 1, procedure successfully completed. So it got committed. So now we don't have any issue with. Now coming to delete. So delete basically, if I want to delete the records from a table, then I go with the delete statement. So till now we have seen like insert how we have inserted or update. Now it's like I don't want the records in the table, so I will go with the delete option. So in that scenario, I'll use the delete statement. So for that, I'll go, this is the syntax, delete from table name. So for this, I'm running delete from, let's run with implicit cursors and see how many records got impacted. So delete from text employee, and if you see here, I have taken here is open. This is another implicit cursor. So usually is open it's always returns false for implicit cursors, because this delete from test employee, until the statements get executed, the implicit cursors will be closed. So as soon as it reaches to if condition, it will always comes to else condition and it will show the row count. So for implicit curses, always the test SQL percent is open will always returns false. So now if I run this query, let's clear the script output. If I run this, let me run. So if you see here, rows updated in else is 4. So it got to the else statement and rows updated in the else is 4. PL SQL process successfully completed. So in the same way, for all the DML statements, they are not auto commit. So definitely we have to provide the commit manually. Now if I try to commit, see here, let me clear the script output. Rows updated in else is 0. Even there are no records, but this will always be false. It comes to the else statement since we have deleted already. It came to else condition and it is showing in else it is 0 and it committed. So that's it with the DML commands.